I think I'm with you. Hold on. I don't understand why this has to be so hard all of a sudden. Oh, stop it. Ignore me for a minute. I'm just doing my best not to cuss. Okay. Now I want to get back to my page. I haven't done this from Facebook. I've only done it from Zoom. And Facebook, for some reason, is not happy with me. Okay, I don't want to do that. See, I've got myself on a screen here. Okay, okay, Holly, I see your comment. It's not coming where I thought it would be, but I see it. Oh, for Pete's sake. Okay, I meant to begin this in a happy, cheerful mood, but honestly, Pete, why does it have to be so hard? They change it all the time. My son mocks me because one time I was trying to do an event and I got so upset I couldn't do something. And hey, Sharon, hi. And I said, they changed Facebook. And ever since then, every time he looks at me, he'll go, they changed Facebook. And he mocks me. Oh my gosh. Well, hello everybody who's joining me. Here was my idea for today. Um, I'm doing when I've done all the interviews, I have the way when you bring another person on, you have to do it through Zoom, which means you don't get to see the comments. And so I thought, well, it would be cool to go Facebook Live on my page with all of you, so that I could see your comments and see the things you want me to talk about. Okay, is the volume better there? Did I make it better? Hello from Bosnia. Welcome back to Southern California. Yeah, big welcome. Yesterday, we had an unbelievable windstorm, gusts up to 60 miles an hour. I got up early and did a morning walk, and I mean, the beach is just a wreck. Snow in the mountains. On the other hand, I talked to Rainbow, and she said, not Rainbow, I talked to Punkin, granddaughter Punkin. She says they're out of school in Illinois today. So when you see in the comment box where it says Susan Elizabeth Phillips, that's really Assistant Sharon. And she's telling you if you have anything that you want me to talk about. Kathy says turn it up a little more, but I've got maximum volume now. I'm going to just pull it closer. Just exactly what I want. Okay. Sunny and mild in Houston. Well, that's good. Okay, is the volume any better, or do I just need to talk louder? Because I do have it on my computer up all the way. So I'm seeing you people. People are here from the UK, from Germany, Louisville, Kentucky. Isn't it amazing the way we can connect with each other through what technology has given us? Well, you know what I'm going to talk about first, right? My hair. Here's the thing. I have discovered that it's easier with all these big issues of the pandemic to just focus on the small things, so I focus on my hair. But good news is that the salons in California are now open again. I think as of yesterday afternoon. So that'll be good. Oh, Syracuse, how much snow do you have there? 76 in Texas today. Honest to Pete. Yeah, but you will not be happy with that come July, right? Lots of things going on today. So today is the release of the mass market edition of Dance Away with Me. And I finally got my copy 2 days ago. I'm so happy to have this out in paperback because, of course, you can always order it online. But right now, it's available in Kroger's, in Walmart, in Target, places where people who don't order books online, maybe they're not as big readers as most of us. 4 degrees in Naperville. Oh, 4 inches in Naperville. I hope somebody shoveled our driveway. We have people living in our house, but you just don't know. Anyway, people who might not be big readers are, but they might see a cover or a book that they want at Walmart or Target or when they go to their Kroger store. So I'm always happy when the mass market edition comes out. This book has been a real trip and a half. I don't know if any of you have checked, maybe I'm not supposed to talk about this, but I don't know if any of you have checked in with some of the reviews on Amazon. Honest to Pete, this book is all over the place. Um, it still hasn't, I mean, there are lots and lots of 5-star reviews, but of course, I don't pay as much attention to those as I do to the others. The book has been accused of being anti Christian. My Sunday school teachers are not going to be happy with me about that. Um, Very, very puzzling. And I think one of the things that's been interesting in this book is most of my readers are willing to go whatever journey I take them on. Some of them only want a rom-com. And this book, oh, it has funny moments in it, but I would not call it a rom-com. Um, and if I don't write a rom-com, it's like they get vicious. What the hell? Um, so it's always an interesting journey. One of the things I tell readers, and I have to tell you, even though I'm complaining, I have been so happy with the reception this book got. I think it touched a lot of issues. So many of us build families in interesting ways. We don't necessarily have to have people that we're related to by blood, right? We pull other people into our lives, and that's one of the things I love, and I love writing about. And so in Dance Away With Me, we see interesting ways that families are built. And I know most of you here have already read the book, but in case you haven't, the heroine is a grieving young midwife. She's a widow. The hero is this crotchety, tormented artist. And they are brought together in ways they never expected. So I love all of you who are willing to go on these journeys with me. The next journey, as some of you know, is back to the world of the Chicago Stars, which always makes us happy. If you wonder why I don't just write every book as a Stars book, it's because I love that series so much. I will not write a Stars book unless I know I can bring something special to it. With I'm going to be a little distracted here because I'm kind of reading at the same time as the comments are coming in. I know I'll miss some of them, but it'll make me a little bit inarticulate, or more inarticulate than I normally am. So I want to bring something to the world, special to the world of the Stars, anytime I write a Stars book. And indeed, that's what's happened with the new book, When Stars Collide. I'm going to be reading just a little bit of that. I talked to you the other day about, should I read a little bit of When Stars Collide? And you said yes, so you can get an idea. I don't have a cover to show you. The cover is online, but I don't have a physical one to show you yet. I got some interesting questions yesterday and some things that people wanted me to talk about. Someone asked me if I'm going to do another book set in Tempest, Tennessee. And Tempest is the setting for Dance Away With Me. And one of the things I loved about that book is being able to write about community and family. And community in this book is represented by the Broken Chimney coffee shop. Don't ask me how I got that name. I have no idea. It just popped into my head. And I love the community of that. It's kind of half coffee shop, half ice cream shop, general store, pies. They have a rack of paperback books. It's what you might find in a small town. I have written a couple books about Tennessee. I wrote Natural Born Charmer about Tennessee, and originally the reason I set this book in Tennessee was I was hoping I could work. Remember Dean Robillard and Blue Bailey from Natural Born Charmer? I was hoping I could work them in because Blue was an artist and the hero of this is an artist, but every time I tried to do it, it felt contrived. So that was the reason I chose the setting, although it didn't work out. You might notice that in general, I like writing Midwestern settings or Southern settings. I always think when it comes to the South, you can write really eccentric characters and the readers are going to go along with you. So that is something I gravitate to that. I like writing the Midwest because I'm just a Midwesterner through and through. It's harder for me to write East Coast, and even though, as some of you know, because we can no longer, we're wusses and can no longer want to handle Illinois winters, we have been coming out to a condo that we have here in San Diego County, and but even then, I don't know, I'm just not ready to write a book set in California. Uh, in terms of the Chicago Stars books, I've talked about this a little bit. Do you like my other way? No, this, that. Okay, everything's reversed. I have spatial awareness problems. I'm trying to point to my jellyfish cushion in the back. Can you see it? Oh, geez, Susan. Oh, everything is in reversed, and that just doesn't work for me. Anyway, I love that cushion. When we bought our condo, it was furnished, right? And oh, what a blessing that was. I mean, even to pots and pans and silverware. It was really turnkey. And one of the things that are in this condo, I have counted them, not counting pillow shams. There are 13 throw pillows in this condo. So what did I bring out? 2 more, but the jellyfish needed to be out here. Okay, just wait. I'm going to do this right. Just still can't do it. What? I hope my sister's not watching this, because if she is never going to hear the end. I'll never hear the end of it. On the other hand, she has spatial problems too, so she can't really talk. Oh, thank you, Jackie. I appreciate that. She's saying that I have to write what I know and what draws me, and I like to do that. So you want to hear a little bit about When Stars Collide? This is the first time I've talked about this book, so I'm sure I'll be a little bit scrambled, but you know, what's new? So I had this idea. I had a note somewhere about an opera singer. Mr. Bill, come on, go in and get the ladder out. And this just cracks me up. Anyway, I had a note about an opera singer, and I just came across it, and I thought, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be funny to put an opera singer heroine with one of my quarterbacks? And that is indeed what happened. So When Stars Collide is the story of the diva and the quarterback. Olivia Shore is a superstar opera singer. Thad Owens is the backup quarterback, kind of at the end of his career, not quite the superstar he thought he was going to be. And they turned out to be an absolutely wonderful combination. So what the premise of the book is, when you have these luxury watch brands, they frequently have superstar athletes as brand spokespeople. We had, just a couple of them. Remember when David Beckham was promoting watches? And they're always high-end watches, pretty much. Tiger Woods was. That guy who's the quarterback for the Buccaneers, Tom Brady, he was promoting a watch, and I thought about that. So my watch brand is called Marchand Timepieces, and my hero and heroine are the brand ambassadors for this. He is the brand ambassador for the men's watch, she for the woman's watch. They are on a 1-month tour. They have a private plane, and they're on a 1-month tour with the people from Marchand Watches to promote this watch. They don't know each other going in. So you're going to meet first Thad, Bowman, Walker, Owens, and the plane hasn't taken off yet. They're in Chicago, they're on the ground, and Cooper Graham, remember Cooper from First Star I See Tonight? He's on the plane giving Thad a hard time before this whole thing starts, right? So they're on the ground, they haven't, Thad has not met Olivia yet, and Cooper has been giving him a hard time. So here's an idea. This is what Thad Owens is like. Despite what Thad had said to Coop, Thad wasn't entirely surprised Marchand Timepieces had come after him to promote their Victory 780 watch. They needed a stars player, and Thad gave good interviews. Also, that old Heisman Trophy had garnered him plenty of publicity over the years. Still, Anybody with eyeballs knew it wasn't Thad's throwing arm or glib rejoinders that had sealed the deal with Marchand. It was his pretty face. "You're even better looking than the boo." Coop had tweaked him the first time they'd met, referring to the great Stars quarterback, Dean Robillard. Thad's looks were a curse. One of his favorite ex-girlfriends had told him, "You've got Liam Hemsworth's nose, Michael B. Jordan's cheekbones, and Zac Efron's hair. As for those green eyes, Taylor Swift for sure. It's like all the good-looking celebs in the world threw up on your face." Thad missed Lindy, but she'd gotten fed up with his non-committal crap. After she'd broken up with him, he'd sent her a new laptop so she'd know there were no hard feelings. Over the years, Thad had done everything he could to roughen up his appearance. He'd grown a beard a couple of times, but then people started telling him he looked like the dude in 50 Shades. He'd tried a porn star mustache, only to have women say he looked distinguished. He'd even gone for irony and sported one of those asinine man buns for a while. Unfortunately, it looked good on him. In high school, everybody got pimples but him. He'd never needed braces or gone through an awkward phase. He hadn't broken his nose or gotten one of the chin scars every other player in the league had. His hair wasn't thinning. He didn't have a paunch. He blamed his parents. But the one positive thing about his looks, along with his lean 6'3" body, was the extra cash it earned him. And he did like making money. Over the years, he'd lent his face to a men's cologne, his butt to designer underwear, and his hair to some overpriced grooming products he'd never bothered to use. And now this. 4 weeks on the road to promote Marchand's new Victory 780 watch. No sweat, except for one snag. He wasn't Marchand's only brand ambassador. While he was promoting the Victory 780, opera superstar Olivia Shore would be touting the ladies' watch, the Cavatina 3. Want to meet Olivia? So they're still on the ground. Coop is still sitting with Thad, and Olivia comes on. Oh, I just love her so much. A stir at the front of the plane drew their attention to the diva, and throughout the book, the diva is referred to with a capital T and a capital D. Drew their attention to the diva who had finally graced them with her presence. She wore a belted tan trench coat over black pants, along with royal blue stilettos that added 5 inches to her already impressive height. A few trails of dark hair emerged from the sides of a printed scarf wrapped around her head like in old photos Thad had seen of Jackie Kennedy. Along with the scarf, the pair of big-ass sunglasses perched on her long nose made her look like a jet setter right out of the 1960s, or maybe an Italian movie star. She tossed down a designer tote bag big enough to hold a golden retriever and took a seat near the front of the plane without acknowledging either Coop or Thad. As the faint scent of luxury perfume, high culture, and undiluted arrogance wafted its way to the back of the plane, Coop unfurled from the seat. "Time for me to get out of here." Coop headed for the front of the plane. He stopped as he approached the diva and nodded. "Miss Shore?" She inclined her head, barely acknowledging the man who'd been one of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL. Thad had the God-given right to throw all the shade he wanted at Coop, but that highbrow opera singer didn't. Oh, it is going to be a match for the ages. I cannot wait. When Stars Collide comes out at the end of June, you can pre-order it now. I think Assistant Sharon posts some links. Now, while I was reading, I'm going to take a second here and go back and see what you have posted that I need to talk to. Oh, somebody commented about Heroes Are My Weakness. I love that book. Heroes Are My Weakness, in case you have not read it, is a contemporary take on one of the old Gothics that some of us of a certain age used to read. The covers always had a heroine fleeing from this mysterious house in the back. There's this big old house in the back, and then the heroine is like fleeing across the moors, and she's wearing a negligee, right? And I had to write that scene in. I've got at one point the heroine in this book fleeing. I think she's wearing a pair of bunny pajamas, something like that. Anyway, that is the book with Theo Harp and with Annie Hewitt, who's a puppeteer. Would you believe that some people didn't want to read that book because there were puppets in it? I mean, please, give me a break. How picky do you have to be? Anyway, I think that was really, really, really fun. Now, do I think there will be a real in-person book tour this time? June, I kind of doubt it. The good thing about these events is, number one, I love being on camera. Okay, you just throw a camera at me and I'm a happy person. I feel like I connect more with you, but I miss the hugs. I really miss the hugs and the photos and all that. Okay, I'm going to go back now. And yes, Sandy, it is on between those two. Don't tell me, Jackie, I don't care whether you're creeped out by puppets. Are you creeped out like by the Sesame Street, like the Muppets? That's what these things are like. Do not tell me about that. Okay, I still love you though, even if you're wrong. Okay. Lily and Liam, Lily and Liam are in This Heart of Mine, as well as Tess and Ian do body painting. Is that a fantasy of yours? Ooh, no! Dirty. I would have to get in the shower right away. Although they do it in different ways, I've got to say. Going back here. I see Sharon. Remember, any post you see that says it's from Susan Elizabeth Phillips is really Assistant Sharon. I love the snark. Oh, there is a lot of snark. There are so many inside jokes about temperamental sopranos in this book. Will I write another book with that kind of mystery suspense vibe? You know, it's funny. It's if the book and the plot and the characters call for suspense, I'll go there. I mean, you're not ever going to get a hard-boiled thriller out of me, but going back, Hi Germany, and this book, When Stars comes out at the end. When Stars Collide comes out at the end of June. Patrick Mahomes has a whole collection of very high-end Rolex watches. They all do. Or the one I can't say the Tag Heuer, whatever that one is. Okay, going back. Hi, Kim. How did I get started writing about a professional football team? That is the goofiest story. In the back of my mind, I always thought, wouldn't it be hysterical if a woman who knew nothing about sports inherited a professional football team? That was it. There was no intention of writing a series. It was just this funny idea I had, and I started. And then toward the beginning of that book, this wide receiver out of Tularosa, Texas, named Bobby Tom Denton came in to the book, and I thought, he's so ego-driven. I thought, I got to know about this guy. So I thought, well, I'll write his book afterward, and I did with Heaven, Texas. That was it. There weren't supposed to be any more Chicago Stars books. Then I started thinking about, what if this woman who was a genius, and she wants to have a baby, but she doesn't want her baby to be a genius like she is, so she needs somebody stupid to father this baby, and that took me right back to Chicago Stars, and we had nobody's baby but mine. It went on and on and on from there. Quarterbacks are divas. I'm not commenting on that. Okay, now, I'm trying to get back to earlier comments. Oh, come on. We've got a troll here. I don't know if you can block him or not. We've had a lot more trolls on the page later. And as soon as I see them, I block them. But that's kind of a pain. So I can't go back to, let me see if I can block him from here. You know what I'll do? I'll probably, I can't. Well, now I can't get back to, Sharon, I can't get back to the earlier comments. Maybe I'm going the wrong direction. Okay, let me try the other way. Jenny, hi. I miss seeing you too. Remember what happened, Jenny, that time I had that extra Jenny she's been a reader and a friend for a long time. And she came to the RWA conference one time, and I had an extra ticket to the private Avon cocktail party. And I got to take Jenny. Man, she disappeared as soon as we got there. She was talking to every author there. It was fun. Bobby Tom. I know we love Bobby Tom. Uh, Sharon says June 29th is the release date. Here's one. Annie says, besides Coop, who else makes an appearance in When Stars Collide? Piper, his wife. And there's a walk-on from Heath Champion. Remember him? Okay, I don't know. I can't get back to your early comments. So if there's something you want me to talk about, if you ask a question, I can't see it. If you ask a question earlier than 10 minutes ago, go ahead and post it. Okay, so tomorrow I've got a newsletter coming out. You know, my so-called monthly newsletter that I haven't sent out for 3 months? That comes out tomorrow. All you have to do is go to my website, SusanElizabethPhillips.com, and you can register for the newsletter then. You should be able to get it by tomorrow, when it comes out tomorrow. So we have Dance Away with Me out in mass market today. We have When Stars Collide coming out in the end of June. And right now, Cooper Graham and Piper's story, First Star I See Tonight, is on sale for $2.99, the ebook edition. I think it's US only. I'm so sorry. I know that is very unfair to our readers, international readers, and wish I could just fix it, but apparently I can't. So anyway, and I think it'll be fun to read Coop and Piper's story before you read When Stars Collide, if you haven't already read it. I had a question the other day. Someone posted a question saying, how do I write humor? How did I develop a knack for writing humor? I don't know. I've been asked to do workshops on writing humor. I always turn them down because something's either funny to me or it's not. I do notice that the older I get, the less filtered I get, and I can be a little bit inappropriate around people that I have just met who don't really know me, but you know what? So it's just sometimes situations strike me as being really funny and lines of dialogue strike me. So it's kind of intuitive. And I think probably it's one of those things that you either have that gift or you don't. And if you don't have it, then you don't want to try to impose it. Say, oh, romantic comedies are really, really popular right now, so I need to write one. If that's not your voice, that's not what you want to do. So I thought that was an interesting question. I get questions about setting. I feel like in my books, setting is a character. The setting is as important as the characters. And I think that's probably one of the reasons I like to write about the Midwest and the South, because these are both settings that I'm comfortable in. How does Mr. Bill, this was another question I got, how does Mr. Bill feel about the love scenes in my books? Mr. Bill is so chill. The only time he ever said anything was, I think it was after Dance Away with Me, Dream a Little Dream. He said, Susan, if you get any more explicit, I'm going to have to wash your keyboard out with soap. I do think that nobody is reading my book for erotica. If you want erotica, you can find that in lots of other places. You're not going to find it in my book. If a scene is sexy, it is. I don't write a love scene just to say, oh, this many pages have gone by, I need a love scene. A love scene to me has to contribute to moving the plot forward or moving the characterizations forward. I think that's what makes it sexy. If it's just body parts, then that is not interesting to me at all, and it's boring to write. So I want that churn between characters. I want that conflict between them. I think that's really, really important. Looking at some other questions I got. I get a lot of questions about writing kids' books, like Chip and Rosie from Dance Away with Me. Everybody wants me to write their story. I just don't have it in my head. Heather from Kiss an Angel. Kiss an Angel is an interesting book. Oh, Celia. Celia is a longtime reader, and she wanted to know what Thad's jersey number is. And this is because she's such a smart aleck. She caught an error in one of my books where I changed Kevin Tucker's jersey number between Nobody's Baby But Mine and This Heart of Mine. His jersey number mysteriously changed. And she had to call me on it. So now I thought, okay, if that's the way you're going to be. And I just emailed Celia and I said, I need to know what somebody's jersey number is. Okay, Jackie's the one who doesn't want the puppets. She also says she doesn't want clowns. Have you read Honeymoon, one of my early books? That book is, you want to talk about an emotional trip and a half. It's not a rom-com. I mean, there are funny things in it. That's one of my early books. I really love that book. It's a longer book, and there is a clown in it. So, oh, Dawn, I wish we could go to an in-person signing too. Okay, I want to talk about that and Netflix both. One of the things that happens with my in-person signings is I don't have a lot of control over where I go. They have to be stores that have invited me, and they have to be stores that are used to doing events, and that's all handled by our publicity department at William Morrow and at Avon Books. So I don't always get to choose that. Let's talk about Netflix and books into movies. I know that we would all love to see the Chicago Stars books as movies. But here's the thing. Whatever book is in our head, we want to see what's in our head on the screen, and it doesn't work that way. These are two different, film and literature are two different media. So we're not going to see that. What the ideal, though, is what has happened with Bridgerton, right? So Julia Quinn wrote this great series of historical romances, her Bridgerton books. And as I understand it, Shonda Rhimes was one of her readers. And Shonda, you all know Shonda Rhimes, absolute genius. Shonda picked the book up and optioned the book for Netflix as part of her new deal with Netflix. I think it might have been one of the first things she did. Then she assigned it to a guy who knew what he was doing. And what they did with Bridgerton, yes, there are changes from the book, but the final product is just such a delight. Perfectly cast. And it was so interesting with the diverse casting, because when that was announced, Julie got a lot of flack. I saw that on her Facebook page. How can you have diverse casting? This is the English Regency, etc., etc. Well, it worked, in my opinion, like dynamite. I loved it. Gave the whole thing a freshness. Plus, I was really crushing on that Duke of Hastings. There's a rumor he's going to be the next James Bond. Wouldn't that be cool? Anyway, they did. The people who did the Shonda Rhimes production, they got it. They understood what romance was like and how it should be translated onto the screen. Have you ever seen rom-coms where you have the heroine is beautiful and the hero is just not hot at all? These are made by men. Don't they understand what we want? So, getting back to seeing the Chicago Stars on the screen. I've had a lot of interest over the years in those books, but I've never even been tempted to pick up any of them because I knew the people didn't really get it. So the only way I would let those books be optioned is to somebody I thought really would, not that they would translate the books exactly, but they would come up with the perfect casting, and they would respect the books and the stories and the readers. Unless that's going to happen, I would be really, really cautious about it. None of my books have gone to TV or film for that very reason. Finding somebody who really could do them well. Because, let's say the Chicago Stars, or let's say Kiss an Angel. We'll just pick a random book. Ain't She Sweet? Let's say that was an option for film. And the person who took the books didn't really get the whole romance genre. And who gets the complaints afterward? Is it the producers, the directors? No, I would get the complaints. Everybody, you would all be yelling at me. So it's a slippery slope, and I'm just so happy that it worked out with Bridgerton, because I think we all know that now that there are going to be a lot of people looking at some of our great historical romance series. I mean, they've got to be looking at Eloisa James now, at Lisa Kleypas, at Sarah McLean. I mean, so many. What about Jane Ann Kranz's books? What about those Amanda Quicks that are set in the 1930s? I mean, these would all be fantastic. And I think Bridgerton has really, really opened that up. Bridget says that we met in Germany. You got some cookies from her. Oh, I do love when I get cookies. Thank you. You know, I was scheduled to tour in Germany with Dance Away with Me in the fall, and of course that got canceled. And oh, I love being able to do those international tours. They're just so much fun. Getting to meet readers all over the world, and what I have discovered when I've toured in Germany, in Italy, Slovenia, Croatia, Spain, is readers everywhere are the same. They ask the same kinds of questions. They have the same passion for the books. It is just, I really, really have become conscious what an international world we live in, the connection we all share. Holly, she wants to know if I'm going to spotlight any more sports cars in upcoming books. Half the time I get my cars wrong. I like to go to Holly and have her make sure I got them right. Will there be more stories with the next generation of your characters? I would love that. I just can't figure out how to do it in a way that feels right to me. I'd love to do Chip and Rosie. I'd love to do, what about Riley Patriot in Nobody's Baby But Mine, Dean's little sister. I'd love to do that. I just don't have the ideas yet. How do I find the names for my characters? I just do lists of names, and sometimes I'll start out with the wrong name, and then just have to change it midstream. I love that your books are sexy but not skanky. Yeah, I don't want to do skanky. Let's see what else here. I'm just realizing one of the reasons I like to interview other authors is after a while I get tired of hearing the sound of my own voice. I hope you're okay with that. Love the towns, the people, and the scenery in your books. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, Holly says, how do you feel about your friend Julia Quinn's success with Bridgerton? Does it make you any more likely to consider putting one of yours on the screen? Are you still against it? I'm thrilled. I mean, the success of Bridgerton went beyond any of our imaginations. And it does make me think about it more closely, but it also really points out to me that you've got to have the right team behind it. Other than that, no. Oh, Dawn says, you remind me of Jeannie Robinson, the 6'2" woman comedian and public speaker. Have you ever heard Jeannie Robinson? She works clean. She's a comedian, and she talks about herself and her husband Left Brain. She cracks me up. One of my favorites. Thank you. That's a huge comment. Oh, Stacy. Never mind. She makes her pod partner or listen to the juicy parts of your books. Oh my goodness. Dexter, I'm talking as loud as I can. I don't know, something's going on with my computer. I tried to use the other one, and it didn't work well. And Dexter, by the way, thanks for hanging with us. I always notice when you're around and appreciate it. Anyar says she loves Alex and Daisy. I do too. I always get a question about what is my favorite book. And my favorite book is always the one I just finished writing, and my least favorite book is always the one I'm writing. So right now, Stars Collide is my favorite book because it did what I want, and the mess I'm working on right now, I always think every book I'm working on is going to sink my career. Okay, you guys, I have been jabbering for 45 minutes. That's enough any of you need to hear from me. If you have anything you want me to follow up on, and I'm sorry if I didn't answer all your questions. Sometimes things were spinning by as I was speaking and I couldn't get back to them. If there's anything else you want me to address, I'll check in on Facebook several times today. and try to address everything. Thank you for being with me today. I just absolutely adore the connection we all have, even though it's a virtual connection. I feel like you're all friends, and I feel like we could just sit down around my kitchen table. You have to drink tea instead of coffee, but as long as you're game for that, um, and just chat. I really value you. You're all such wonderful, wonderful readers, and so enthusiastic, such enthusiastic readers and wide readers. You guys read everything, and I really appreciate it. So, bye everybody. Oh, before I go, reminder: Dance Away with Me, paperback today. Pre-order When Stars Collide. Sign up for my newsletter at susanelizabethphillips.com, and don't forget that First Star I See Tonight is on sale. It's a limited time, but I'm not sure exactly when that sale is going to expire, for $2.99. The ebook of First Star I See Tonight, Cooper Graham and Piper Dove's story. Thanks, everybody. Bye bye.